transit since 9 o'clock this morning. It's now 5. And yet I've never missed a flight in my entire life. Hundreds of flights.
We're on our way to Addis Ababa. We ever get there.
We have electronic tickets with reservations and confirmation numbers, but they have no record of them.
There's nothing I can do at this point. So I'm just trying not to stress out. Zen. No consideration of lineups whatsoever. You just have to fight to get in there. Lots of bags, lots of pushing. Just hope that we can get on the plane. Our reservation number has been found after all. But not there yet.
Move this out, we'll push this up. We have T-minus 10 minutes to make the plane. We haven't gone through customs yet. Welcome to the other side of travel writing. Travel writers cover different beats.
I tackle the quirky, cultural side of travel.
I find edgy, risk-taking stories.
The trick is to find stories that inspire.
And the stories that sell.
Traveling from place to place all the time, you're going to run into problems.
You just missed some incredible arguments. We've never lost our cool at all. Never.
Maybe tomorrow. There's lots of time to lose our cool.
Ethiopia. Here we are.
Where are these bags?
I'm going to make a silent prayer that our luggage somehow miraculously finds its way from wherever it is to where we are. Because there are hundreds of bags just lying around here in the baggage claim. Hundreds. Any more bags? I said there wasn't anything coming, but there it is.
We're here. 2:14. Does the light not work? No light?
No light.
I hate to be high maintenance, but it's always nice to have electricity in your room.
Often when I travel, I find that people are as important as the places that I go to. And I have this little trick that I call the people chain. I try and find a local contact, somebody's brothers, sisters, aunts, cousins, somebody. Call them out of the blue and see where it leads me. Sometimes it goes nowhere, and sometimes it leads to the best stories. I bumped into an old friend of mine in Vancouver, and he said if you're going to Ethiopia, he knows a guy whose name is Joseph.
Hello?
Hello, is that Joseph?
Yes, it is.
Hey, Joseph, it's Robin speaking. So I'm waiting here for Joseph. Joseph. Hi. Hello. How you doing? Good. It doesn't take long before I realize the people chain has paid off with my first call. This guy's incredible. He moved to North America as a kid, made a fortune in the .com boom, picked up his family and returned to Ethiopia to give something back. Joseph was a champion long-distance runner, and he realized there were talented athletes here who needed some support.
It started with just one person, one pair of shoes, and that kind of led to saying, how many of this guy are there?
And I love this idea of these guys with nothing training to be Olympic athletes. Do you think it would be possible to meet some of these guys?
I'll try to get some of the top athletes.
Oh, wow.
Then,
this is the classic example of the people chain. Now I'll meet more people. Now I'll have a story. We make a date to go for a jog when I return from Lalibela.
Between the pickpockets and the vehicles, I really got to keep my eyes open.
Early morning, I head out downtown to the Mercado. It claims to be the biggest market in all of Africa.
Can I take a photo?
Locals come here for all their shopping needs. Knock off Adidas pumps.
It's funny, there's all these shoes made in China. Adidas spelt improperly, fake Pumas.
There's traditional clothes and Rastafarian mementos. It's a bargain hunter's paradise. I dip into an alleyway and come out to the spice market.
Can I take a photo?
Women here sell vats of butter.
Thank you.
Men sell colorful spices out of huge barrels.
So this butter is for eating. This butter people actually put in their hair. You put this in your hair. Oh. So you put it on your head, you put the herbs on, you tie it with a handkerchief, you leave it for 3 days, you wash it out, and your hair is soft and beautiful. Okay, so this is what you mix in for the butter to make it smell. It smells really good. Now I'm gonna try to put it back in. Pretend like I didn't just scrunch all of his herbs.
The spice market is all about touch and smell. I dip my hands in a bucket of orange lentils and let them run through my fingers like grains of sand.
Now you really have to watch where you walk around here. There's all kinds of puddles of mysterious goo. I probably should not have worn flip-flops.
Ethiopia's reality is different from ours at home. As I walk along the streets, I see blind beggars, people whose bodies are rife with polio, plagued with terrible and most likely curable skin conditions. It's important to me that my readers know what it's really like, but my guide Mule is concerned that I'm getting the wrong impression.
So the reality really is that there's not famine like we saw in the 1980s.
No famine, no, not at all.
But there is still a lot of poverty here.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, well this is important for the story, just to show the reality that there's many sides to Ethiopia.
Another early morning, another plane to catch.
Where are we going, Julia?
Lalibela, home of the
Lalibela.
Rock Church.
Home of the rock churches, the new and the old Jerusalems.
Tell me this, it's your religion.
Plane problems, breakdowns, and shoddy transportation are a byproduct of travel in Africa.
I don't know nothing.
So it came as no surprise when the twin-prop Fokker breaks down in the middle of nowhere. We've stuck at some Bahaidir Gingo Wahaya airport on our way to Lalibela. Lalibela is going to have to wait a little bit longer. We're not going anywhere in a hurry.
I'm not actually writing an article. I'm just trying to download all of my thoughts and comments about the trip so far. I met a couple who recognized me from a photo in my column. It was a real surprise meeting a reader in the middle of Ethiopia. I couldn't believe it.
We have a new plane. The plane has arrived. The plane has arrived.
Wow.
We're here in Lalibela. It was supposed to be a 2-hour flight. It was an 11-hour flight.
Look at the sunset. Built during the 12th and 13th century, Lalibela is known as Africa's Petra.
The first group of churches comprises 6 churches.
Okay.
And this one is the first church, and it's the largest and the biggest monolithic church carved by human beings in the world.
Let me get this straight. All of this was stone and they carved down?
Down, yeah.
Instead of being carved into cliffs, churches have been painstakingly carved top down into volcanic rock as freestanding structures. 11 are attributed to the reign of King Lalibela, and legend states that the daily construction by subjects was continued by the nightly work of angels. UNESCO has erected ugly scaffolding to protect the largest, most impressive church from further rain damage.
So it's just to create an umbrella.
It's got nothing to do with holding up the structure, it's just solid rock.
So every time you take a photo of somebody, you have
ask
to pay.
permission first.
And usually it's 1 birr?
1 birr or 2 birr.
Yeah, I guess if that's the custom,
Yeah, that's the
then you
custom,
have to. We've got someone to guard guard our shoes.
Yeah.
Is that right?
The history is so thick here you can literally breathe it. My white socks were quickly red with the dust of ages.
Each separate church has a replica of the Ark of the Covenant, and only the priest is allowed to go behind the drape. So it's pretty amazing that even a replica, no one can see.
I'm trying to take more pictures, but it says no memory space in the internal memory.
Because your smart card isn't in there.
You know where it is? It's in my laptop.
You've got no camera for today. We explore the rock churches, walking inside carved tunnels, peering inside doorways to find weathered priests reading leathered Bibles.
Will you call a priest like
Abba.
this man? Abba?
Yeah.
A-B-A?
ABBA.
Abba, Father,
Yeah.
that is an amazing photo.
Oh my god, that's gorgeous. Okay, I want to take a shot of it.
Don't mind if we just share them. I mean,
Are you
it's
sure?
exactly the same.
It's beautiful.
Oh man, these are unbelievable.
That's great, I love it.
This church is, we call it Beit HaMaskel, and this House of the Cross, a musical instrument.
How old is this here?
Yeah, this thing is as old as the churches. That means it's from the 13th century. And they used it to put the replica of the Ark of the Covenant in here.
Whoa. So Julia, what I do when I write, like I noticed that you're taking all the dates and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And I write about like the thoughts and emotions and feelings, and then I go online and I do just grab all the facts.
Well, what do you do because there's no internet here?
This is internet, yeah. It's just slow.
But, you know, I like to take notes from the guides and then cross-reference it with stuff that I see on the internet. And then, I don't know, I just find that's kind of the way I do it.
I don't really write a lot of facts other than the basic thing.
Right,
Because
yeah.
my
Yours is more
thing with travel writing has
experiential.
always been it's an experience.
Yeah,
That's-
and that's good, so do I, but, you know, you have to
You-
pepper
you have
that
to-
with facts and
yeah.
place it for people. At least that's what I'm doing in mine.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Imagine that, you and I disagreeing.
Never happens.
Never happens.
Whoa! I gotta stop saying, whoa!
Oh, whoa.
Africa has long fascinated the more adventurous traveler, drawn to its spectacular natural beauty, curious about its tragic, turbulent history. No destination illustrates this better than Lalibela in northern Ethiopia.
I'm not the one you take.
Can you explain what this is?
Ancient science always makes me ponder the lives lived back then, the work it takes to create these buildings, the passion required for such devoted labor. The House of St. George Church is surrounded by the mummified remains of pilgrims said to have bathed in the River Jordan. It is this sacred swim that supposedly kept them from decomposing.
Bet Golgotha, another dark and dusty rock church, houses the tomb of Lalibela and is forbidden to women.
Why can't I just walk in?
It's their law, it's religious.
What? What do you mean?
Women can't go inside. Cannot.
Oh,
I will tell you how amazing it is inside there.
this sucks. Of course, the feminist in me is instantly, you know, wanting to get in there. And Robin, of course, is loving this. He thinks this is great that I can't get in.
The robed priest poses for pictures as he stands protecting the sacred inner chamber, housing a replica of Ethiopia's holiest object, the legendary Ark of the Covenant.
Setoch,
Setoch,
lemon,
lemon,
አይገቡም.
aigabu. And that means why can't women come in?
Yeah.
He tells me there are many legends. He believes it's because Jesus asked Mary Magdalene not to enter the tomb.
Priests are nevertheless willing to display their gold crosses, 800-year-old prayer sticks, and colorful robes for a small price.
Thank you.
With its incredible churches, the town of Lalibela is also home to abject poverty, where savvy children do their best to scam foreigners into giving them money.
To give or not to give? I often wonder about the ethics and responsibility of a traveler. It's something I struggle with every place I go.
No. The kids are really happy to see us, I guess. Though there is a little bit of begging here, isn't there?
Yeah, it's desperate.
It's hard to know how to handle it properly.
Our New Year, never asking any money.
Really?
Yeah, we work and we work hard.
I like this boy. What's your name? If you give to these kids on the street, you're teaching them how to be dependent on you.
Well, to be friendly and not give money, I don't see what's wrong with that.
You're encouraging a social problem.
I never give money to kids on the street. I agree with you there. But if an old woman says, "Hi, how are you? Here's my hand," I shake the woman's
I
hand.
don't care if you're friendly or not to them. They want money. That's what they're doing it for. I'd rather talk to someone who doesn't look at me as a walking dollar.
Well, I'm still gonna be friendly. I completely disagree. Can we just agree to disagree?
Always agree
All right,
to disagree.
agree to disagree.
Always
Now
agree
let's go
to
make some new friends. High fives, high fives.
With its off-the-beaten-track charm, Lalabella draws you in, leaving you hypnotized by its playful nature and the warmth of its people.
The mission is to find an internet cafe, get online and file some stories.
So we found an internet cafe, but there's no USB port. Perfect.
Hello? Yeah, I just want to make sure my USB works, okay? See, it doesn't work.
It's dial-up? Is this what I'm hearing?
It's all dial-up. This is not working. And that's going to make filing stories and high-resolution pictures very, very frustrating.
Tomorrow we return to Addis. Maybe we'll have more luck there. As a travel writer, I've seen a lot of the world. And I've also seen a lot of poverty. But I've never really done much to help the situation. Well, today is the day. I ask my guide Moulay what I can do. He suggests an unusual way to help out some local kids.
So, have I ever bought a sheep before? No. Do I know how to buy a sheep? Not really.
He knows of an orphanage called Child Aid that accepts donations of any kind.
I can't tell between a goat and a sheep, can you?
For big festivals, it's customary to bring an animal for slaughter. Since there's a festival a week from now, donating a sheep would not only be acceptable, it's welcomed.
Okay, Moulay, how do I buy a sheep?
So to test how fat they are,
Okay.
so you can feel it.
Okay.
So I spend the next few minutes grabbing hold of different sheep's backsides.
Still having a hard time distinguishing between them.
He says this one is expensive.
700.
Ah, that is expensive. It's like,
Maybe they make a discount on that.
yeah? How much is this one?
Centenario. He says this one is 350. This one 270.
Okay.
500 he says.
For the big one. That's about a little less than $60 US. All right, so let's do it. Let's do it.
The animal rights activist in me is horrified. What have I done? I'm guilty of the premeditated murder of a barnyard animal.
Come on. I think he knows what's going to happen to him. I don't blame him. Come on, baby. Come on. I'm going to the orphanage.
It's for a good cause, but I just can't help but feel a bit guilty.
Taxi. Watch my sheep.
I know that some readers will take issue with the fact that I bought a live animal for slaughter, but it's well intended. It's for the kids, so I'm prepared to defend my actions.
Hello.
That is my name.
Nice to meet you. My name's Julia. Thanks for letting us come by. I have a little gift.
So much.
And I know that there's a big festival coming up soon,
Yes.
so I thought that maybe you could use it for that.
Thank you so much.
Small children, stand back. Okay. Yay! You're welcome. Well, I think the kids like it. You're welcome.
The orphanage is clean and the children well cared for, but I can't help feeling a little heartbroken. This is me giving back to the community, one sheep at a time.
I call it the people chain. The idea is to get random contacts in random places and see where it leads you. In this case, a friend back home passed on the details of Joseph in Addis Ababa. And what a great lead. Here I am, struggling with poverty and the need I see, and I meet a guy who's inspired to step up and make a difference in the best way he knows how. Workane was a shoeshine boy, Tabibi was homeless, and Kidest a domestic servant. Now they have a trainer, a place to stay, basic allowance, and a shot at running at an international level.
The important thing when running a marathon is that you get a head start.
The focus of my article is giving back and making a difference. Because it feels that when I give money to someone on the streets, all I'm doing is perpetuating the problem.
It's always handing out, and I think, to me, it's very foolish. Even if these people don't become Olympic champions, just the confidence they're going to get, the experience, the exposure they're going to get from competing and being disciplined, working out, it's going to help them in their life.
Maybe we'll see some of these guys out there on the Olympic track, and that's what it's all about. It's helping people, one at a time. Thank you.
We travel to learn, to challenge ourselves, our expectations, our thoughts on the world.
Everywhere I travel, I find something that amazes me, moves me. Ethiopia was a little bit different. Here, I was moved to give back, to do something for the people who gave me so much history, culture, and insight.
Ethiopia's landscape is inspiring, its culture and history fascinating. As more travelers discover it, perhaps things will get better, perhaps not. Either way, the country just might be the very reason I started traveling in the first place.
Gotta go write this thing.
Come on, sheep. Come on. Come on, this is gonna be hard. I think I've got problems.